absolutely blown away by this place. Welcome to the cottage!
Welcome to the cottage. Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of the cottage. And we've had a lot of things happen this week. Yesterday we were pulling out stairs, and we have a great big gaping hole now where the stairs were, which is over there. And incidentally, when we were taking the stairs out, that whole wall was moving.
It was literally not just a few millimetres, I mean we're talking several inches. The bricks were dancing around, hence a lot of the brick dust that's in here this morning. It was a bit of a demolition derby!
It was, but it was good fun. And also, we have the ceiling down in here as well, don't we?
Yes, we do. That was my project a couple of days ago. So again, more dust, but I did my best to clear it all up to make it easier for when we came to demolish the stairs.
And today, the stairs is coming out, so I've got to finish this off. I've just got to clear all the rubble up and all the mess up, ready for the stair guy who's coming in, what, about an hour to fit the new stairs.
Absolutely.
So that's today's project. So
the only downside is if we need to use the loo, it's either a bucket job or get the ladders out.
yeah, I think I'm going to be getting the ladders. Yeah.
On that note, it was a bit below the belt. I think we'll move on swiftly.
Well, let's crack on then.
Well, hello campers. As you can see, it's gone a bit mad here at the moment. So we have all the wood from the stairs, the steps, etc, etc. Monster is busy eating all of that. And I have the frying pan on and the kettle ready to make a brew because the lads are working so hard. Come this way. When I say hard, remember me telling you about the wall being a bit of a problem? There we go. It's gone. I had a rather productive day on Friday with my neighbour Mart. He lives that side. We went to an auction, and a Whittaker and Biggs auction at that. They have household furniture, they have games, they have books, they have antiques, they have toys, they have garden equipment. I mean, I'm talking things such as lawn mowers and you know, sort of rakes and all of your tools that you'd need for the garden. But most importantly, they have white goods as well. Now, I'm very pleased with myself because I put a bid on. Well, I didn't just put one bid on, I put quite a few bids on in actual fact. And this here is the product of my adventures. How much do you think I paid for this? Bearing in mind, it is a working fridge, but most importantly, it is an integral fridge. So in other words, I attach my door to this part, that goes to the work surface, the bottom goes to the bottom part. So when I've got my handle, bosh! There we go. And of course, as you can see, there's the bacon and the sausages inside for the work guys when they get here. And also for us as well, because obviously we need to make sure that we feed our faces, otherwise nobody gets fed. So anyway, full working order. How much do you think?
Dunno. £100.
Sold. Bids on a postcard, please.
You don't want to sell your fridge, do you?
Well, I'll accept the going offer if I tell you. Do you want to know how much I paid for it? Sorry, that was an impression of David Dickinson. Anyway, I paid a tenner. Bosh!
Well, so here we are in the main master bedroom, and as you can see, We have now got the whitewash on the walls, so that's now going to soak into the plaster. That'll be then ready for a couple of coats of further white paint. The first coat was watered down paint, so we can get the plaster porous, you know, seeps into the plaster, and then we can put the top coats on, which is the next stage in this room. But it's gone very well, as you can see from the last video. We prepped it, primed it, and ready to go.
Well, I was contemplating having an ensuite, but this is just a joke. I'm stood in the bedroom over the lounge, the one with the beautiful fireplace that was recently installed, and this was the studded wall that went between the bathroom, as you can see, and also this particular room. Now, problem we had with this wall is because that these particular supports, not only are they unlevel, they're not even plumb. As you mean, look at the difference in there. I mean, you can see straight away, looking at the gap between this on the shower panel to protect the water from coming out, and you can see how much of a distance there is between that if you look as a measure. You see, look. Oh, that's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, the wall had been plastered over the existing plasterboard that was there, but look, I mean, look at this, the whole thing. Look at it. It's just, you know, it's not even tied in at the bottom, okay? Sadly, they've had to take all of their hard effort and their work out in order to correct this problem, which is a crying shame, really. But at the same time, by doing this, not only are we able to eradicate the woodworm by treating the wood, which may not necessarily be the case in this instance, because all of these supports really need to come out. I mean, they're shot, really. I mean, look. See how much play is in that? It's ridiculous. So basically, they need to come out, and a new stud wall needs to be put in, and then obviously the repair to the existing plasterboard, which is here by the light switch. All of the debris that we have here and the detritus has come from the stairs. The stairs were completely rotten. I mean, just literally the woodworm had eaten their way through, made everything crumbly. So it was a job well done to actually decide to completely replace the stairs. And the newel posts I'm still waiting for at this moment in time, but those will go in very soon. So again, unfortunately, can't do any decoration in this room right at this moment in time, because obviously I need to now wait for the plasterers to do their stud work on that wall. And unfortunately, my no peeking sign doesn't function at all. You just have to make sure that you whistle.
Wow, so there you go. Another day at the cottage, and we have the stairs in now. That is absolutely brilliant. They're brand new. They actually go the proper way now, and I can come down these brand new stairs nice and safely. And it's not like you're doing a bungee jump down into the depths of the house. But yes, it's looking very good today. We're very pleased with these stairs, very pleased with progress. And the next step will be get the wall back up, and then get them put in properly. And then underneath the stairs, the plan is that we're going to have a Saniflow toilet under there, and it's like a, I guess it's like a big cement mixer, food processor, if you will, and it's a little box that fits in the back of the toilet, so you don't actually need a waste pipe. It's all water fed, and that'll go under there, and that will be brilliant. But it's certainly coming on today. We're very pleased.
We're looking at one of the joists that support the floorboards going along the length of the landing. As you can see here, we have evidence of a woodworm hole, so unfortunately all of this joist actually needs to be treated. There's another one there, and there's probably lots more on this part here as well. Oh, and we have an original lath from the lath and plaster ceiling that I explained to you about before. Fantastic as a firelighter. Anyway, that's pretty much what's happened today. We have had a framework built instead of having the wall put back. Daz recommended that we do this because there was no strength in putting the wall up. Basically, the wall would have come up to here from the floor, so therefore there would have been nothing supporting that wall, and as such it would have had too much movement that way out. Which would have been unstable. So he suggested that we put a stud partition wall in as a replacement, and then obviously that can be plasterboarded up, skim coated, etc, etc, thermoboarded if need be, whatever Daz wants to do really with it. But ultimately the stairs can actually be tied into this, so again providing additional strength for the stairs. As you can see, the remainder of the kitchen down there. Still no kitchen at this moment in time, however the kitchen's now been ordered. We have a skim coat that has been now put on that wall, the left hand side of the chimney breast, which you can't really see from this angle. This wall behind that has also been treated with the scratch coat and also the render guard gold in there to give the additional damp proof membrane help, and over the top has been tanked. Now obviously we've got the electrical points through there for the various appliances and also a double socket for the work surface. At the top of there we have the lighting for the glass unit cupboard as well.
Hi, well, we're back up here again, another weekend, and after the disaster that you told us about with this wall next to us, how's that happening then? What's going on with it?
Well, we had to take the wall down because when the electrician put the sockets in initially, the wall actually flexed and there was a massive crack that appeared right down the centre of the wall. So the plasterers very kindly actually repaired that and plastered over it again. And then once the electrician had put the sockets in, the wall was still intact, and I managed to trip and I fell backwards onto the wall. And as I did that, it went straight crack up again. Similar sort of place, but not at the place where they'd just repaired it. So decision was, why was the wall flexing? Because I mean, you'd got literally that much movement. There was easy 2 or 3 inches movement in the wall. So I said to Darren, can we fix it? And he said, yes, we can. So what they did was they removed all of the plasterboard down this left-hand side of the wall, and they've put like a brace in between. Now, if you come into the bathroom, I can actually show you the bracing.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't think this applies now because I actually want you to come in, so yes to peeking. I tell you what, I'll turn it round. Come on in anyway. Sorry, it's having a mad half hour. Anyway, as you can see, we have the original laths or joists, or I don't know what the technical term is, but anyway, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along the wall, and there was nothing actually supporting the base of the wall. The plasterers have actually put these bracing bars in. Okay, yeah, for the meantime, I've got no tiles in here and I've got no bog roll hanger, so the bog roll just fits on there. It's great, it's just really handy. But anyway, so by putting the bracings where they've put it, they've actually put the strength back into the wall, and now the wall no longer flexes. So when we actually come to do the necessary plasterboarding in here, this is only a temporary measure, then also it will give strength to this side of the wall as well. And I think they've done a cracking job. So let's...
plastered over the cracks.
Oh, very funny. Well, seeing as the cottage is all mine and I now have their plasterboard, I thought, just out of historical interest, I was going to put my stamp on this property. Yeah. Well, I'm steaming up, so I'll take my glasses off. As you can see, we now have a lath and plaster wall, and as I tried to explain in previous videos about the lath and plaster, I think this is a perfect example because you can actually see now how the wall has been constructed. If you look closely, you've got these little nails that have been put in into supports, and then they've put plaster directly over the top, which has been made by horsehair. Now, the problem is with this stuff is it's very difficult to actually get the proper thickness, and you can see that there's a variance in thickness from down here to right over across here. But if I grab hold of the hammer and I take a bit, you can see just how crumbly this stuff is. I mean, it's just breaking down. It's just really, 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 really crumbly. This has to come down because we have exactly the same problem with this as we did in the bathroom. So to be fair, to make things easier, we're going to plasterboard the whole lot so there's none of this stuff left. And it's also a bonus because I can use all of these lats on the fire.
Hi guys, well it's a hive of activity here today. I've got the guys in to fit the new fire. We're having a Dean Forge W5 and it's a multi-fuel stove, which basically means that we can burn things such as wood and coal, as well as cardboard, paper, etc. We've had the monster removed, and yes, I'm going to be sorry to see it go because it provided a lot of comfort for us while we were here. However, being inefficient as it was, it used to take an awful lot of wood just to keep the room warm. The downside is that when the guys have taken the old liner out, we discovered that it was meant to be for gas supply only, so it's been a bit dangerous really, so it needed to go. However, the guys have been up on the roof and they've now actually replaced the liner with the correct one for solid fuel, multi-fuel, and what they've done is they've attached a cap to the one end and they have a rope with a series of weights attached as well, and basically what they do is they thread that through from the top of the chimney down through the chimney breast and to the new stove, and they're just in the process of cleaning the hearth at the moment, and once they've done that they'll bring the new stove through. However, they say that we can't use the stove today. We need to allow all of the sealants etc. to kind of go off, and we will be able to use it within 24 hours. It's a bit sunny here at the moment, hence the squint, but that's the reason why I'm sat in the yard really. Yeah, being lazy so I can sun myself, but also at the same time so I can be out of the way to allow the guys to do the work that they need to. More on this later.
Well, they've actually put the stove in, and if you look here you can see the vitreous which goes down to the stove, which I'll show you in a minute because I wanted to do a big reveal. They have also installed the reg plate, so that stops any muck and bullets from coming through, and that's been attached with one screw up that side, one up this side, and then on the opposite side they could only get one in because the bricks again are so friable up this corner, so they've used special adhesive to actually put that in place, and they've put all silicone round, which is special heat sensitive silicone, so therefore it protects against the heat as such, so that it doesn't get lost from the room. Now this is the big reveal. I'd like you to meet my new stove. Ta-da! Looks absolutely fantastic with the companion set that I got from the auction, and also the brass bucket. Got to leave it for 24 hours though, and they basically said that I can put a fire in there, I can use coal. Coal has to go at the bottom, and then once the coal's gone at the bottom I can actually stoke it up with wood from the top, but only small fires for the first couple, and they expect to get lots of smell off there. The reason for that is because obviously with it being brand new it takes a while for the paint to actually settle in. Now with a handle actually opens up and you're thinking, my god, what happens there? As you can see inside we also have the ashtray underneath, and I've got a special tool for that, also together with some rather posh looking gauntlets as well to protect from the heat, so that's how that functions. The bottom one here is for use with the coal, and then if I wanted to use the wood and just have wood going, I have a little regulator here to act as my damper to open and close as well, to help with the flames and the warmth in the room. So that's pretty much a lot, guys, but let me show you my gauntlets. Look at these. There's two. Oh. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. Bright red, so you ain't going to miss them, but they're actually heat resistant gloves. Look at the lining, specialised for this particular job. So somebody who is left-handed, you shove your glove on and then you can obviously pull that open and shut it. But also in here as well, there's a little booklet that tells me how to operate the stove. You have this little gadget here, and this little gadget helps you to pull out the ashtray so you can remove the ash after each fire. So you just basically hook it out, and then I suppose if you wanted to you could also use it to
adjust the handle as well if you were too lazy to put the gloves on. But to be fair, the gloves are going on, and the reason for that is because I don't want anything scratched. Well guys, welcome back. Over this last week, I've been busy as a bee. I've been busy ordering appliances for the new kitchen. I've ordered the new kitchen, and that's going to be delivered on the 29th of June. I have a sofa being delivered from the 25th of June up until the 19th of July as well. So I need to crack on and get some decorating done. Anyway, as far as the plasterers go, well, let me show you what they've been up to this week. First things first, they've actually plastered the ceiling in the kitchen, and they put up a framework in order to be able to put a false ceiling in. Not only have they done that, they have plastered the stud wall that they've actually built up for me, and that's where the stairs run. As you can see, the stairs are just here, just going up there. Anyway, more on the stairs in a moment. If I walk forward this way, you can actually see that this side wall here that was rendered for absolutely donkey's ages and nothing was done with it has now been plastered, and you can see the electrician's points there for the fridge and freezer, and one over there for the downstairs loo, which is what that little cubby hole over there is going to be all about. But anyway, more on that later. We have the alarm point up there for the PIR, and there we go. As we can see, they've plastered right up into the doorway, and the reason why they've left the doorway is because we're having a new front door fitted, and that's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. They unfortunately have had a bit of an issue with regards to the window, but we know the windows are rubbish anyway. So I've been contacted by the firm that fitted these, and they are supposed to be sending an inspector to look yet again, but more on that later. They have put, obviously, the old roid tanking. Now, you probably remember in the last episode I was talking to you about tanking, and I was trying to explain to you the different sorts of tanking. Well, to begin with, there's slurry tanking. Okay, so what exactly is slurry tanking? Well, slurry tanking is a powdered form, and you mix it with water, and it's a chemical that helps to draw moisture out by the form of osmosis. Okay? Osmosis is something that will draw a weaker concentration to a stronger concentration, i.e. the moisture from the wall, whether that be blockwork or brickwork, it doesn't matter, it will actually draw it out. Okay? Once the slurry tanking has been applied, either by brush or by trowel, you then allow it to dry. And as it's in its drying process, what it will do is it will draw that moisture from the wall, and this will actually appear like a dew over the wall, okay? If there's an awful lot of damp in there, you'll actually find that this will actually start running down the wall. Don't worry too much, this is quite normal, it's supposed to happen like this. Slurry tanking can be used in places such as swimming pools, or as the name says itself, in slurry tanks, or as we have in this particular instance at the cottage, used it in really, really damp wall situation. Okay. Once the slurry tanking has dried out, it goes from a darker grey to a much, much lighter grey, and then once it's dry, it will actually prevent any further moisture from being able to permeate either through the brickwork or from the brickwork. Okay. Now, I mentioned to you also about old roid tanking. Now, this is a different form of tanking because it's applied as a plastic membrane directly to a wall, and you drill through it, okay? The old roid tanking has a mesh to the back, okay? Now, there can be a bit of difference depending on what brands obviously used at the time, but generally, as a rule, it has a mesh attached to the back. It also has little plastic bubbles. Now, these little plastic bubbles allow airflow around the back of the tanking, and as such, by allowing the airflow through, it also prevents moisture being able to build up. Now, you also have plastic lugs, which when you drill through the wall, you apply a plastic lug and it has a rubber membrane to it. This rubber membrane also prevents moisture from being able to come through the wall. So when you render or you apply your plaster and your plaster skim coat over the top, then you're probably not going to have any problems with moisture coming through. So let's go and have a look at what the plaster has done, because here at the cottage we have used both sorts. As you can see, I'm stood in the Victorian bedroom, and the electrician has already cut his holes for his sockets and embedded those into the wall, and the plasterers have very kindly repaired the wall, and then they re-skimmed it after the issues that we had with the plaster having cracked because of the weather. So we now have a wall that has been plastered 3 times, but that is drying out quite nicely. Okay, so not only have they plastered the Victorian bedroom, as you can see we have the wall at the top of the landing now also been plastered, and that is over the bathroom door. We have the hole there ready for the PIR, for the alarm system, and then we've got all the way along the wall to the window. This wall had to be completely taken apart because the lath and plaster was not strong enough, and also we had similar situation with regards to the lower joist, which should have been supporting the wall as we did in the Victorian bedroom. So Daz and his team again suggested to remove all of the lath and plaster, which we did very carefully so as not to damage the wall in the master bedroom, and then they have plasterboarded, and as you can see, done a skin job over the top, which looks absolutely fab. Today Donovan has also skimmed the ceiling, and that is in the process of now drying out. He's also done around the window and also down as far as the fuse board, and below the fuse board was actually done yesterday, as was also most of the stairs as well. So today was just basically on the stairs for touch up, for filling any holes or any damage that may have been created as they went downstairs, which can happen when plaster's still wet. But as I say, it's drying out very nicely and it will look fantastic once it's all painted up and I have the new wall posts in replacement. We still have a bit of a danger zone up here though, as you can see. Unfortunately, we've lost a few more floorboards. We've got plenty of builder's rubble underneath the floorboards, which I will need to remove very carefully because we don't know quite what's down there other than bits of plaster. Got to be careful of the electrician's cables so we don't cut any. But as you can see, if you look a bit further along, if I carefully stand on these joists, you'll actually be able to see the new posts or the frame as part and parcel of the kitchen ceiling, as you can see, just going along that part there. Now then, in the master bedroom, as you can see, we have a little bit of a colour change. I decided to go with a soft lime green for in here. Oops, Donovan's left his jacket behind. I'll have to send that for him. Anyway, yes, it's all being painted up. However, there was still this issue with this part of the wall here and this part of the wall here not having been painted, and the reason for that was because they needed to remove the architrave and didn't bring the right tools to do it. However, today they have, and as you can see, Donovan's very carefully fixed all of that part there. So once that's dry tomorrow, all these little bits here, I'll be able to sand those down and I should be able to make good of that wall. However, I won't be able to touch the plaster until that's fully dry. He's removed also part of the architrave at the top. You might not be able to quite see that unless I zoom in. There we go, just so that he could get that top corner there. And unfortunately, accidents do happen, and I have a little bit of plaster on my brand new paintwork. So I'm gonna have to get my painting kit on again. Oh, hi guys! Didn't realise you were back. As you can see, I'm making a mess as usual. Today's task is to start painting. Now, in here has already had one coat of paint, and it's the watered down paint. And as you can see, if I move the lid from this bucket, I've written on the other bucket, watered down paint, just to make it obvious as to which bucket's which, okay? It's already had 2 coats of this stuff, okay? So now, the plan is to put a final coat on of the white paint, complete the ceiling, and then go around all the walls again to cover up any blemishes that we may have, such as over there. And once I've done that, then be able to put the top coat of colour on. And you'll have to wait and see as to what colour it is. But for meanwhile, now let's get started.
So, another busy week again then.
Yeah, well, don't hang around too long because you will get painted.
That's great. Well, there you go. I think we better crack on with this painting then, haven't we?
Yeah, because the sofa's coming this coming week.
Oh, heck. So, yes, that's going to be interesting then. Right, I better scrub in and...
Do you mean scrubbing, painting more like?
Ah, I can't.
Come here, it's Smiley and JJ. No, just because I can.
Well.
We'll see you next time on the cottage. Hopefully we'll have some paint on the walls.
Yeah, and not on ourselves, eh?
Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Bye for now.